Yo, what up? It's B-Cide here. I wanted to come up on here today and tell you, the older I get, the less I feel I need to defend myself. If somebody had told me 15 or 20 years ago that I'd say that, I probably wouldn't have even believed them. Back then, if somebody criticized my music, I'd get defensive. I'd want to explain myself. I'd want to prove them wrong. I'd want them to understand why I believed in what I was creating. Looking back, I realized I spent a lot of energy trying to convince people who had already made up their minds pretty much. And, these days it's completely different. You know, uh, every now and then somebody comes into my TikTok live and says, your music sucks, or turn that music off, or something else they're hoping to get a reaction from. You know, 15 years ago, that probably would have bothered me. But today, I usually just laugh. Sometimes I'll even play my song Quit Your Yapping and have a little fun with it. That's what we do on the stream. And then we move on. Not because I proved them wrong, uh, because I realized I don't have to prove them wrong. That's not the thing. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is this: not everybody's supposed to like what you create. Not everybody's supposed to understand your vision. And not everybody's supposed to understand, not everybody's supposed to be part of the journey. And that's okay. There's billions of people in this world. And some people love hip hop, some don't. Some people will connect with my music, some won't. Some people will enjoy these videos. Some people will click away after 30 seconds. None of that changes who I am. They could see my ugly face and be like, oh shit, who's this fat guy? But I realize the older I get, the less interested I am in attending, hold on, wait. I just want to get this out right. The less in okay, the older I get, the less interested I am in talking to every argument that I get invited to. Because every minute I spend arguing with somebody who's determined to not understand me is a minute that I could have spent writing another song, making another video, talking with the community, helping somebody who's actually looking for encouragement. I'd rather spend my time building something than defending something. That's really been one of the biggest changes in my life. When I was younger, I thought proving people wrong would make me happy. But what actually made me happy was finding the people who already believed in what I was building. The people who come into my lives every day, the people who listen to the music, the people who read my book, the people who wear my shirts, the people who tell me, something, B-Side, I needed this today. Those are really the people I want to spend my time with. Not because they agree with everything I say, you know what I'm saying? But because they're there in good faith. I think getting older teaches you something. You stop trying to win every argument. You stop trying to impress everybody. You stop trying to defend every decision you've ever made. Instead, you become more comfortable with simply being yourself. That doesn't mean that criticism never stings. It just means it doesn't control me anymore. I know who I am. I know what I'm building, and I know what I'm building it for. And the older I get, the less I feel the need to defend myself. And honestly, that's one of the most freeing feelings that I've ever experienced. Stay strong, stay wicked, like, subscribe, comment, share this with somebody who might need it. It's B-Side. Peace out.